I didn't really get any support from my like teachers, parents, and things like that in pursuing the apprenticeship route. You could generally build your financial future, and you can have a lot of fun with the money that you earn from your apprenticeship. And the thing is that even if you're lazy right now, you can become hard work. It just takes a process. Being in that environment, it did change me, but I think it changed me for the better. Hello, everyone. This is Elijah, co-founder of the Black Apprentice Network. And for background around the current Apprentice Network, there's around 5,000 current and aspiring apprentices with African and Caribbean descent. We're the biggest corporate community in the UK. And super excited to kind of answer some of the questions that you guys have around me as a co-founder of the Black Apprentice Network. What made me choose an apprenticeship instead of university? I chose both. A big part of me going to do an apprenticeship is because I read a book on kind of people actually learning skills to get into the workplace. And the book was very critical of university degrees that don't teach strong skills. And what I was going to do at the time is that I was going to do an economics degree at Warwick. Got accepted into it, super excited about it, and I still love Warwick as a university. However, I was just thinking I actually want to kind of learn skills that are going to make me kind of marketable as soon as I finish my degree, rather than kind of choosing when I actually finish my degree to learn skills. That's not just something I put in my CV and mentioned in my interviews. That's something that I was actually thinking at the time. So I just started applying to a lot of these corporate companies. I also was very interested in tech. I read a few tech articles and was super kind of curious about it. I wanted to learn a bit more about it. And then, I just searched up the different, degree apprenticeships that may be available, saw the Salesforce degree apprenticeship, applied to it, went through a different application process and was fortunate enough to kind of go through it. And on this channel, we're going to be talking about how to excel during parts of the application process. But, it was a fun process. I'm pretty happy that I went for the apprenticeship. I didn't even realize how great of a coffee Salesforce was before the apprenticeship, but now I do. So I was super happy with the way the apprenticeship kind of turned out, the skills that I learned. I know if I wanted to kind of enter in that world today, I would be paid a decent amount of money for the skills I learned during my apprenticeship. Did I face any pressure from teachers, friends, or family to just go to uni? How did you deal with that? I think it was just more self-induced. I think I'm the sort of person to really blaze my own trail. There's this sorts of people that I really kind of want to speak to on this channel, people that really are confident enough to go their own way and kind of pursue the different opportunities that they want to pursue. I didn't really get any support from my teachers, parents, and things like that in pursuing the apprenticeship route. I just know I told my parents, I'm going to get a degree anyway, and I'm pretty driven to just make sure that I actually learn skills and actually become marketable. I think apprenticeships are pretty popular now. I think there's more and more people that are, riding for it now. I like to think I'm one of the examples that people look to on how apprenticeships can be beneficial. I strive for that. And but yeah, in terms of pressure, I think there's a lot of resources online now. You have the Black Apprentice Network. You have multiple different resources now to help you kind of on your journey into getting an apprenticeship. There's a lot of opportunity out there. There's a lot of opportunity to get into an apprenticeship, to learn the right skills for you to kind of blaze an incredible career for yourself. So in terms of pressure, not much. I think it was more self-induced. And I think self-induced pressure is the best. What did my first paycheck mean to me? Not just financially, but emotionally or socially. It meant a lot. I remember September. I remember end of September, check hit my account. I think it was 1.3 or something like that after tax. And I was just like, I've got this, because it's during the summer I worked a cleaning job at Walco in Stratford, just behind Stratford Centre, I think. I was getting paid £9, for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. No, 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. So I was getting paid £120 a week, and that was good for me because I used to kind of come in the morning, at 6:30, leave at 9:30, and now I still got the whole of summer ahead of me, and I could kind of go out with my friends and whatnot. But yeah, the first check hit in my account, it was serious. I was like, Fairs, I got this. Super happy about it, man. And it was different, right? I've never seen that much money in my life. So yeah, it was a good experience, man. And I'm not one of those people that fight the financial benefits of apprenticeships aren't valuable reasons to pursue an apprenticeship. You could generally build your financial future, and you can have a lot of fun with the money that you earn from your apprenticeship, especially if you live at home. So yeah, make your money. And that first paycheck, it's different. It's different. Monzo, and I saw that here, it was, it was an experience. How did my lifestyle change after starting my apprenticeship compared to friends at uni? Not much. Like for the first like 2 months of my apprenticeship, I was just going out every weekend. I recently just hit 18. Our birthday's August the 25th, and I was, let's go out, let's really experience this freedom. I told my parents, listen, like I'm going outside, I'm doing the things I want to do. I'm gonna experience this freedom. And after 2 months, I was kind of getting tired of it. But my Saturdays are just used up. I'm working 5 days a week, and then I have a day and a half on a Saturday. Because when you go to the club, you're gonna wake up late on Sunday. So my entire day is just shot. Or if I have something early in the morning on Sunday, I have something to go to, and I'm just tired on a Sunday, so I don't even have time for recovery. So like my lifestyle, it was still pretty similar. Uni peers go out partying, I went out partying as well. I really made sure to kind of experience that side of things. I think I was just able to, in terms of finances, like I've heard some uni people really struggling, especially those that don't like manage their finances well. And I didn't really experience that, because I don't know, but regardless of how bad I may have 1 month like manage my paycheck, I always have enough paycheck coming in. So in terms of how my experience was, I don't think it was too different. And even during my first year, I think I was really in the uni scene, in the University of London scene of like a multitude of universities in London. I tried to keep myself kind of active. I wasn't the most active, but I tried to keep myself kind of active. Thank God I didn't go to like a university, because I feel like I'm the type of person where like I would have been a big name on campus if I went to university straight. And if I had that like week, I had to start fresh this week to kind of really like get to know everyone in UOL. I'm happy I was kind of more like laid back, so I could kind of just experience UOL and kind of get back to my ambition. But like my lifestyle was pretty similar, man. My lifestyle was pretty similar. It's just that I was dependent 9 to 5 working. And also, like, I've heard in, like, for a lot of university students, your sleep schedule is ridiculous. Like, I've heard of situations where people are waking up 3 p.m. and going to sleep at, like, 8 a.m. Like, my sleep schedule was never that, man. My job could never allow that. But, I still made sure to have fun. I was still, like, Elijah. I was still seeing my friends. I think at the time I was actually recording a podcast, man, with my friends. I'm not going to say their names of it because I don't want you guys to check it down. But there's so many episodes from that podcast I did really release, but it was a fun podcast, man. It's very associated with the person I was back then. So throughout your apprenticeship, you change. Not even just due to apprenticeship, just to lack in general. You could like kind of get no one. So it was different as experience. But yeah, in terms of lifestyle, there's some differences than some like similarities. What's something I know now about work or success that I wish someone had told me at 17? It's all about skills. It's all about skills. I think like your early career is just about like gaining more skills that can allow you to be more valuable in the workplace. And I'd also like tell myself like try and be like job opportunities that are close to the money. That's like sales, that's like marketing, actually generate money for business. That's like product development, or sometimes like you are the product. Like during my apprenticeship at sales groups, I was doing like consultant projects. So the consultant is actually like the product, the skills they have. So those sorts of things. And also lower costs, people in finance teams and people that create, a software that allows you to kind of streamline finance in a certain way. Like you could charge a lot of fees for that as long as you're able to kind of justify the sort of value you bring to an organization. So I was like be close to the money. I'd say learn skills. And I'd say like work hard. Regardless if you do an apprenticeship or like work hard, build that work ethic. I think you have opportunity when you're younger to kind of build the work ethic you want to kind of be known for. And build that kind of self-respect that you can't go hard. You can lock in and you can focus for me on extensive periods of time. Because those are the things that kind of separate people. So I'd say like really make sure like you spend time like honing your work ability. And the thing is that even if you're lazy right now, you could become hard worker. It just takes a process of just continuously applying yourself and continuously, whenever you're tired, still working. And you're not going to succeed every time, but you're going to build that sort of habit in yourself and the identity in yourself that you are a hard worker. So, spend your time just learning how to be a hard worker and kind of push through that discomfort of, being too tired to do, a piece of my pay level work, but doing that sale work. I work hard. I built that sort of skill set. How has being in a professional setting changed the way I think about my future. I think it's just made things so much more accessible. Being in that environment, for a lot of you guys, like 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, like you become accustomed to that environment. You feel like you belong. You also kind of learn how important your branding is. Like doing sales in a tech company, massive tech company, versus doing sales at a kind of small newspaper agency or whatever. Like it's very different. It's two different contexts. So it's kind of understanding the importance of context in which you're in. So which is why when people ask me about apprenticeships, that you need to make sure that you choose the apprenticeship for you. You choose the company very selectively, because your experience and your career trajectory, depending on the environment that you kind of start in, two very different things. So it made me accustomed to success. It made me kind of socialized to feel like I belong in rooms with people that maybe earn hundreds of thousands a year. To be in front of like the Salesforce CEO, should be able to hold a conversation with one and not to feel, out of place. Like those things are super important. So yeah, those things are probably the things I kind of keep in mind. What were my biggest fears before starting my apprenticeship, and how real were they? It was just like like going into the environment, different environment, and like it was a thing though. Like I think so. Then 8 hours in a certain environment, in a certain professional setting, and then coming home and being in a very different environment. And at the time within my first year of the apprenticeship, being part of like a very different social circle, like it's circle, like it's different. And those things that are very real. Like I remember, I wore like black, like AF1s, my second day in office, stomping on the ground. So like, I think like me having to adjust that environment, and I had a little bop when I walked, bro. Like I remember I had like this friend, like really close friend in sixth form, like really like made a huge difference in my sixth form experience. And he used to have this bop. And I was, whenever I used to look at his bop, I was like, bro, look at your bop. Like, it's different, bro. Like, everyone could see it. And then, like, when I went to the workplace, like, I had a little bit of a bop, man. And, I changed it a bit. Like, not to say, like, you be domesticated. But, like, I changed it a bit. And, like, I just started to get more accustomed to the environment. I started to feel more confident in the environment I was in. And that was amazing. So like I had very real fears, like kind of before the apprenticeship, and they were real when I started. But as time goes and you become more comfortable in that environment, and you feel more confident in that environment, like those fears, like it kind of subsides, and you feel comfortable and you feel ready to make an impact to the organization that you're in. Did I ever feel like I had to change who I am to fit at work? Maybe a little bit. Like I think you obviously become more accustomed to that environment. And the thing is that I'd already been in professional context before, not on like a 5 day a week, 8 hour a day basis, but I've already been like in-person work experiences at first, which can be really valuable. Kind of talk to different people that I've accomplished so much. Like I remember, like I went to one work experience somewhere with the IP, and I was speaking to like the CEO, and I was speaking to like the CTO, and like people that are studied at Oxford and now are like kind of principal at this company. People that are really accomplishing things. And that experience was so great, since it got me accustomed to these sort of environment and speaking to these people. But yeah, like it doesn't change the way I was because of work. I think there's a natural progression. Like if you're spending 8 hours a day, 5 days a week in a certain context, you're gonna change a bit. But like I think that changes for the better, because I just found that when I was in that context, I just became more articulate for that. I'm more comfortable. I'm more comfortable. I'm more like ready to take on the sort of opportunities that I want to pursue. So like being in that environment, it did change me, but I think it changed me for the better, because it enabled me to become the sort of person that is capable of really taking full advantage of the opportunities that I wanted and what given to me or I snatched. So what's the biggest misconception people have about apprenticeships? It's weird, because I think a lot of misconceptions are being like are being debunked. But I don't know if this is a misconception, but like I think you'd be very surprised in like understanding like what the average apprentice that goes to a good company. I finished the apprenticeship, whether that's degree or not. Degree level, like how much it could reset up a career. You could be, progressing your apprenticeship and earning 40, 50, 60. So you could earn like decent amounts if you just situate yourself in the right apprenticeship and on the right company. And I think being able to spend that early stage of your career learning skills, I think it pays dividends dependent on the company that you join, especially compared to grads that didn't take that time. Like I think in your early career, early wins really compound. If you get an early win compared to another person that's a grad, the gap grows wider because you're just kind of taking the monster that's on part of interest sort of effect that's happening with your skills within your career. So I think you'd be surprised on how much a great starts. That includes, a great role at a great company, join an apprenticeship, how much like it really compounds. And how much you can really say so. They're competitive for a reason, apprenticeships. How has your network grown since starting your apprenticeship, and how has that helped you? Especially during like the second, third years of my apprenticeship, I was really like focused on like reaching out to people and just talking to them. So I was really interested in tech sales. So I used to talk to like lots of a variety of different people in tech sales. Sometimes not in the best way, but everyone that I met knew that I was enthusiastic, and everyone that I met knew that I did my background research, like I did on LinkedIn, the experiences, try to kind of talk about those experiences, maybe try to understand what a VP in a tech sales company sort of does. In Salesforce, you have these things called B2 moms, which is basically kind of like a document outlining the goals that different people in the firm have. I had a B2 mom and it outlined different things on the to accomplish different pressures, what the values were, the kind of team I was put in, all that different sort of jazz. I looked at that for every single person I was in a meeting with, and you really just try to kind of come with a lot of context, because you could ask basic questions when you're talking to these people, but as long as you come with the right context and the sort of way to kind of phrase these questions, people really appreciate it. There's a difference between what's your best advice for people, young person in their career, versus, oh, I saw that you worked at LinkedIn earlier within your career, and like I understand that at that sort of role as an AE, you can't engage in XYZ sort of things, right? So you gotta go through those experiences and also be at a small startup within your career. What are the sorts of things that you would advise someone early in their career doing, kind of based on your previous experiences in the past? Very different question, and a very different impression that you're making people. So, I think my network grew substantially, and also like kind of being able to be part of networks like Black Apprentice Network, you know, some incredible people in there, and just being able to talk to different people within the Black Apprentice Network. I know those relationships are going to pay dividends. There's going to be like a funny time 20s in the future where I was like, oh, wait, were you part of Black Apprentice Network? Oh, you were. Oh, my days. Look at where you are like 20 years in the future. I remember when you were at a hall party and you were like dancing in the middle. Like, you're different, but now you're this person. Like, so I'd definitely say like reach out to people, in the company that you work with in a very, in a manner in which conveys that like you did your research and you have like full context of what their career was beforehand. And make sure you join that was like the Black Apprentice Network and social to people. Come to our next holiday. Hey everyone, this is Elijah from the Black Apprentice Network, co-founder. The Black Apprentice Network is a 5,000 person community, probably the biggest African Caribbean close-knit community that the UK has really ever seen. And I'm here to kind of answer some questions that you guys have around my experiences as a former apprentice. I'm out of that life now, but I could afford. What was your built different moment that made you stand out during your apprenticeship? You're built different. I feel like it was just like going around talking to people. Then Salesforce. Like I'm a social person. I'm an introvert, but I know how to be confident when the time comes, and just being able to talk to people across the organization. I see the people feel comfortable in that moment. I think that's when I found out, okay, I'm more difficult. I can have this conversation. I've been comfortable. Like, I've learned, I've done my research, I'm here with, So I think it was that. But to be fair, like, I feel like I'm putting these senior people on like a pedestal. Like, these people are normal people. These people have families. These people have kids, probably your age. And these guys are normal people. Like, don't ever feel like a sense of discomfort. And when you join your apprenticeship and when you have talks with your manager about like how the family has been and whatnot, like like These are normal people, you know. They have their own problems, their own things. You know, you'll be there soon. Can you give an example or a project or responsibility you're trusted with that surprised you? I remember like I was given like these requirements for a project I was on. Um, and I had to kind of build a whole document dedicated to um I had support obviously, but I had to build a whole document um dedicated to a certain functionality of Salesforce that we're catering to a client. And like that was different. Like I was like, oh my God, I have so much freedom like to like really like play around with this. And I remember like working like late in the night just to make sure like I create these different things. Which was hard because like I was building Black Apprentice Network. I wouldn't recommend having a side hustle. I was building Black Apprentice Network alongside kind of working within this company. So I'd definitely say like being able to have that freedom within the project to kind of um write these requirements and describe these requirements in detail. And obviously, I had other people in an organization. And when you're working on a project where you have so much freedom, get assistance, talk to people, like ask questions, like try to understand how to do this well. But having that freedom was dope, and just seeing that being used by developers to kind of create, different functionalities within Salesforce, like was like, damn, like I actually made a difference. And having people kind of ask you, can you give me more clarification on this? I know you wrote this. It was just like, damn, like that was nice. Like I'm actually proud. Was there ever a moment where I felt like I made the right choice? My role I did right after my apprenticeship, like that was like I wouldn't have been able to do that if I did the apprenticeship. It would have been so much more competitive and so many nefarious. So I think kind of getting that role through actually the organization, doing it well in my opinion, to talking to the recruiters for the opportunity, conveying myself as a great person for the role. Again, that role was just different. Like, bro, I didn't even when they told me, "Oh, you got this role for apprenticeship." Me as in a complete department, you really peak at being inventive, but building those relationships and getting inside the business. Still, it was nice pay too. How do people react when I tell them my job title and age? Different. Like those times where I was like 2021, and I was telling me, yeah, I'm in Salesforce, and people are like, what was like you're in this company at this age? Like you're far ahead. And I think at the time like I didn't really deep it because like there's like other apprentices within my position. Like I talked to these guys. Like but being able to be like in a company and be able to like forge your own path in that company and take on the opportunities that are available within the company at that age and build skills, like it's different. It's a different opportunity. And like I said, like I really believe that if you situate yourself in the right apprenticeship in the right company, like you'll be very surprised on especially how those like skill building experiences in your early years of the apprenticeship when you could have went to uni, as that compounds year after year after year, 5, 10, 50 years in your career, you'll see how much, especially if you like apply consistent effort, you'll see how further you are compared to people that just went to university. Especially if you put in that consistent effort, like it's different. Within the role I did after my apprenticeship, like I was the youngest person on the team by a wide margin. Even the people that were like close to my age, like these guys did the apprenticeship beforehand. So like apprenticeships to really like help me forge your own heart and just get ahead, progress much quicker by building that brand within the organization. So it's different, especially if you're trying around. Check out some of our partners on like Black Apprentice Network. Check it out. If I was talking to someone afraid to be the only one taking this route, what would I say? Guys, you have to be different. You have to be different. Like you have this opportunity in front of you to make money as a young person, to learn the skills as a young person, to join an incredible company as a young person, and to really like compound some of the skills that we're learning. Like if you're interested in money, if you're interested in making a difference, and even if you're just interested in like work-life balance, like learn those skills early. Do the hard work now that enables you to live a better life, like halfway. Yeah. And an apprenticeship is the best way. Is like a really way to just start learning skills very early, especially if you just make sure you maximize your learning in the apprenticeship. The things that you do is pretty incredible. And another thing, like you'll be very surprised on how other companies value you after your apprenticeship. You'll be getting like job offers in the LinkedIn that is like, you're thinking like, yo, like I'm actually 20. Why am I getting these job offers? And even when you go outside into the market after your apprenticeship, you'll be surprised at the different opportunities that may be available for someone like you, provided you learn valuable skills. So yeah, if you're the only one, it's probably a good thing. Jump into it. By the way, if you're interested in the Black Apprentice Network, check out the link in the description. And also, when you join the Black Apprentice Network, I'll probably send you a message. Let me know that you came from this video, and yeah, we can have a little conversation and you ask questions too. Why did I start the Black Apprentice Network, or what gap was I trying to fill? I started Black Apprentice Network with our two co-founders, Quincy Ruben. What we were trying to accomplish is that, like, at first, there wasn't be any spaces that current apprentices of African Arabian descent you communicate with each other and build relationships. Having been in another 3D that it was bursary, but you had a regular opportunities to connect people your age that were wanted to achieve a lot. You wanted to create that same sort of space for current apprentices. So we started this LinkedIn page, started posting content for current apprentices. Had a bit of momentum with it. It was a great experience. Just build this community and help build relationships. Yes, friendships though, but because they make trouble with the Black Apprentice. One of the people on our team, like I met as an aspiring apprentice at our first event. Like years on, she's graduated from an apprenticeship, succeeding, great social media following. You probably guess who it is. And it's just been amazing to kind of see a progression and have Black Apprentice Network be like a really little part. So it's been great. And I think we're definitely feeling that gap. Eventually, aspiring apprentices start to move. What are the most common barriers Black students face when considering apprenticeships? Probably just, I think like now, like it's not really an information issue. Like there's enough resources online on apprenticeships that enable you to kind of pursue these sorts of points. And there's a community now within the Black Apprentice that enables you to find other people that are interested in this and that want to achieve a lot, and enables you to kind of build that relationship up with that, narrative, pursue these opportunities in a way which everyone's can sort of account. And if they succeed, they will succeed. So I think you have that community, you have that information. And I think it's about reading yourself. And again, like within the community, there's a multitude of examples of people getting into investment partnerships that country has to offer, regardless of their circumstances. So I think it's like belief. And I hope through like kind of listening to this and kind of getting on this channel, we're going to have a budget about different current apprentices to scrap experiences too. I think being able to see that and see our social media, some of the Black apprentices really succeeding with the social media funding and do well within their apprenticeship, I think we can make a little dent in making sure that Blacks to have a bit more belief in ourselves or pursue these pressure opportunities. But make sure we tap into the Black apprentice network. There's a lot of those challenges that Black students face, we try to solve it. And if there's something that we have to solve, get into the community, message me, let me know that you're coming from this, and let me know some of the problems that you guys are facing, and we'll try and do your best for you to kind of solve this the case. What advice would I give to a young Black person who doesn't see anyone like them in the spaces they want to work in? Be the first. Be an example for the younger generations on what can be accomplished if you work hard. Stay authentic to your African Caribbean and take advantage, but more opportunities that curious whilst creating some opportunities for yourself as well that other people were to use it. What do successful Black apprentices tend to have in common? They're part of the Black Apprentice Network. I think that's a pretty big thing. Also, they have belief in themselves. They initially learn the right skills. They choose the right apprenticeship for them in the right company, and they tap into their networks around the company. Make sure they build relationships about the people behind the firm, and kind of learn from them, and use those experiences, kind of learning from these people. So research and line on how to do well within their career, and forge a path within their career for them to succeed in the future. I think that's like, if you want to learn a bit more about the Black Apprentice Network, check the link in the description. We'd love to have you in there. And also, you know, we're gonna send you a message. I'll send you a message, you know, when you come in, could be you, like you will be part of the network. And let me know that you keep here. And then we have a little conversation, you can ask me a few questions, and you know, I could be able to. But yeah, I really appreciate you,